Did you guys love it? I like it to make sure everyone is part of it.
All right, let's get started, and then if other people join us later, well, they'll miss important things. I'm Galina Hale. I'm a director of the master's program and the professor of economics. And we have Sheila Knight. She is
I do professional development and field studies, so I'm a support person here for you guys. I make sure you have hot pizza, salad, and plenty of water throughout your whole master's program.
all kind of support. And even more support from Minu. Do you want to step here so people on Zoom can actually see you, because the camera is kind of pointing at me, even just to wave for people on Zoom. So Minu is a graduate studies coordinator. So she's helping me with a master's program. She's also helping Ajay with a PhD program. She has her plate full, but she's taking good care of our students.
Yes, and welcome to the session, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so let me just dive into this. We have, now I don't know how many students we have on. We have some people on Zoom. We have 7 of you guys here. So why don't we go quickly around and you just maybe give your names and what you're looking to learn today. Go ahead.
My name is David. 4th year senior, economics major. I want to see if this program is a fit for me, or if I've like experienced before applying. So
Okay.
kind of learn more.
My name is Amber. I'm a 3rd year business major, and I've never really considered a master's program before. I thought that I would just like go straight into the workforce, but like I got the email for this, and I was like, I feel like it wouldn't hurt to just like see, what it's about.
I'm Tyler. I'm also a 3rd year business major, and I never looked into the master's program either, so I'm just here to learn everything.
Hello, I'm Gavin. I'm a 4th year business management economics major, and I'm here to just really confirm that this is something I am interested in. I've watched the recorded Zoom lecture for this last year, and I just want to continue to pursue the potential like application and stuff like that. So yeah.
I'm Ricky. I'm a 3rd year BME major, and I just want to learn more about the program.
Hi, my name is Steven, and I'm very interested in the master's program.
Hey everyone, my name is Cruz. I'm a 4th year PME major, and I just want to learn about this program.
All right. Well, nobody said you're just here for the pizza, so good. Anybody online wants to introduce yourselves? I can only see Lourdes on, but that's because of the setting, I'm sure. Give a couple of seconds if somebody wants to speak up, but I'm not going to force anybody. All right. You can always ask questions. Please, if I don't see your hand, if you're on Zoom, just interrupt. Don't worry about that. Okay, so let me just give you a brief overview of kind of what is our program. It's a 1-year program, so a standard school year, which is 3 quarters. And in addition, we have now a required math camp, which is 3 weeks before the school starts. Because we want to make sure everybody is at the same high level of math before they start taking microtheory and econometrics and finance, which are all math heavy. And because we make it required, we also understand that some students come with substantial amount of math knowledge. So we give an option for people to test out. This year, I can tell you 2 people attempted to test out, and 1 succeeded and 1 didn't. So it's also like a way you can receive a test and then look at it and say, never mind, I better take the course once you see what the test is. So there's no penalty for trying. there's also a capstone exam, which is basically a combination of the key courses, and I'm going to talk more about that. And that's usually towards the end of the year. Used to be always at the end of June after graduation, but we're trying to move it a little bit earlier, so to accommodate people's schedules a little bit better, and also be able to provide people with diploma a little sooner so they can show it to their potential job employers. Okay, so what is different about our programs? So there are MBA programs, and there are like Masters of Economic programs in other schools. And there's also Master of Finance. So what we call it Applied Economics and Finance. So you can focus on applied economics, which is compared to like a standard Masters of Economics, has a lot more data work, a lot more hands-on practical data analysis, a lot more micro applications. And so this is more kind of a micro applied stuff that you would get in a standard Masters of Economics. If you do focus on finance, you get some of the classes that Master of Finance offers, but not as many classes because you still are getting the core micro, macro, and econometrics that Masters of Finance generally don't offer. Compared to MBA programs, we have a lot more fundamentals. So MBA programs have mostly like business-oriented, practical courses. A joke I had with when I was a student at Berkeley, a professor who taught both in economics department and in business school said when he's teaching in business school, he's telling how to maximize profit. When he's teaching in economics department, he's teaching what is the socially preferred outcome. So we do focus more on the socially preferred outcome than on profit maximizing, but we're also teaching, obviously, the basic financial principles. So there is more, in that sense, like the program is suitable for people who want to go get a job in the private sector right away after the master's program, because we teach a lot of data. I'll show you where our graduates go. But it's also suitable for people who want to go do a PhD, but they're not quite sure and don't want to go directly to PhD from undergraduate. That 1 year gives a really good kind of starting point because the level of courses that we offer is kind of between advanced undergraduate and a formal PhD. So if you're going to a PhD program, doing this 1 year master's puts you on a much better level when you start the PhD program in terms of taking the classes that those PhD programs offer. Before I go on, I want to introduce Alan Spiro. He's our department chair. You want to say a word or two?
I'm sorry, I'm
No,
late.
of course.
I was in another meeting, but I just want to come in and introduce myself. I'm Alan Spiro. I'm the department chair. I know some of you from other meetings and classes, but it's great to have you here learning about the master's program. How many people do we have online? Do we have?
I cannot.
Thank you to those who joined us online. I see a few people there.
At least 20.
At least 20, great.
Yeah, we have a number of people.
Fantastic. Yeah, well, I'm really glad everyone, whether remotely or not, decided to attend to learn more about the program. Just very quickly, and I'll hand it back to Galina. Master's program is one of our, personally, one of my favorite parts of the econ department. We've had many great students come through the program and do well in a variety of areas, whether it's in industry, whether it's in policy, as well as, Galina just mentioned preparation for a PhD. We have a number of people at top PhD programs, some of who went through our program. So I really think that we provide some excellent training. I see the R and the Stata and the Python up here. We've directed our curriculum towards those things that employers in both policy, if you're using Stata or R or Python, if you're going in industry, are demanding. So you're going to get like specialized training in those things. Also, just like our alumni base in the master's program is really great. We've had people do a lot of different things and diverse things and go on to lead really successful and fulfilling careers afterwards. So I hope everyone considers joining. I was the master's director for 5 years, so it's holds a special place in my heart as an academic and as a member of the UCSC community. So just thank you for coming to this meeting and learning more about it. And I'll hand it back to Galina, and I'm going to go run off to something else right now. But I appreciate you taking the time to come to learn about it. Please tell your friends about it, and you can email me. My email is on the department webpage, and email me questions if you want to. And Galina and I will talk about them and those sorts of things. So nice to meet everyone, and thank you for taking the time during the pre-exam week and in interesting times here to to come and meet about and learn about the program. So thank you.
Thanks, Alan, for
Yep.
stopping by.
Thanks,
And
Lynn.
you definitely can email me before you email Alan. He has a lot more things on his plate. Okay, so we also teach, we have a professional development seminar that Sheila helps organizing, and Professor Fairley is teaching, that runs through 2 quarters. So that is specifically designed to help you be successful in the job market. And I'll talk a little bit more. And I don't know if Rob is with us on Zoom or not. If he is, he might be able to say a couple words. Okay, any questions so far? All right.
If you guys need pizza and snacks,
Yeah,
just
feel free. This is not formal. It looks formal because of all the Zoom and the, slides, but that just helps me remember what I want to say. So this is where our alumni go. So there is a number of, the accounting financial firms where our graduates get like a financial analyst positions. Then there's a bunch of big tech companies, with mostly applied. So people focusing on finance go to finance. People go focusing on applied go to this big tech data analysis kind of jobs. But then also, we have people working for smaller companies and for industry as well. So there's demand globally, and I constantly talk to potential employers, asking them what is the set of skills that they're looking for. So we're trying to keep program really modern in terms of what the marketplace is asking for. So currently we're teaching Stata R and Python, and Python is optional, but I'm always trying to convince everybody to take Python because I actually sat on a class last spring that a graduate student was teaching, and I learned a lot, and now I love Python and I don't use anything else. So,
but if you learn Python, it helps you with R also.
It also helps
R
you
is
with
used.
R and MATLAB as well, and so
Yeah.
so this is an opportunity.
One of our alum from just last year is at the Federal Reserve in Washington right now, and they're using R, and she's using a lot of it.
Yeah, and R is required in our winter quarter, and it's also coordinated with the econometrics class that Jesse Lee is teaching this year. So the GSI, who is the graduate student instructor who is teaching the R lab, is working together with the econometrics instructor, so you have hands-on experience. So, there are also people going to the government and to the universities, so pretty much the whole field, if you will. So this is a word, I basically just took the job descriptions and created the word cloud because it's a fun thing to do. And you can see what kind of jobs people are getting. And these are all the jobs people get straight out of the program. So it's not like 10 years later. Some years later, we have, founders of SoFi are our graduates. So, so that's, yeah. Is there a question?
I think, Galina, there's a question in the chat box. What kind of PhDs?
Yeah.
What kind of PhDs do people pursue after graduation?
So I think mostly PhD in economics. I'm not sure I know of any other experiences.
Did they go on to
They could-
another program?
So another PhD.
Oh.
Yeah, no, so I think it's mostly PhD in economics.
I could see where they might do the PhD in marketing, because in marketing, it's all for economics and psychology.
That's right. So potential like different specialized PhDs. Maria, did you have a question? I think either the sound is not good or it's not intentional. Okay, let me look more in chat. I don't think I can see. Bobby, I can't easily see chat for some reason, so I'll rely on you to let me know.
Sure.
Thank you. Badia is our PhD student, and she's teaching some discussion sections as well as labs for the master's program. So, and I'm just gonna mute. Okay. Okay. Any questions? All right. Okay, so what does it take to graduate? So we talked about math camp. We have the 9 5-unit courses, so 3 per quarter. And I'll talk about what they are, and then the labs are the state-of-the-art Python, and the professional development seminars that are 2 units they run in the winter and the spring. And those are basically, I'm going to talk more about that, but they basically teach you all the skills that's needed using on-campus resources for technical writing, CV preparation, resume, whatever you want to call it, as well as alumni who are potential employers. They come and they talk about their experiences and, you know, what kind of career paths one can have. And by the way, one way to find out what kind of career paths our alumni have, if you go on LinkedIn and you find some alumni, we actually have like an alumni group. So I don't know if you probably can't join the group, but you can probably search by UCSC masters or something like that. And you can see where people currently are, and you can look at where they were. Most of our graduates do have LinkedIn profiles because they're high-level professionals. And so you can kind of see what kind of career path. And generally, this is kind of advice I give to my friends who are at the decision-making stage of their career. I say, well, think about where do you want to be in 10 years? Who you want to be like in 10 years? Find that person who you want to be like in 10 years on LinkedIn and see how they got there. Then find another person, see how they got there, because there could be more than one path to get to where you want to be in 10 years. So don't just think, well, I want to do masters next year, or I don't want to do masters next year. Think about that as a step towards some goal. And also remember, the goal is not a commitment, right? If you think now you want to do A in 10 years, then you start doing masters, you decide, actually, I really did not like this. I'm going to do something else. You know, I can give you an example. I was at the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco for 14 years. And most of our research associates who kind of people like you who get the job straight out of undergraduate or after a master's, and usually go do a PhD in economics. So they kind of spend 2 years, learn how to do research, learn some more skill, get good recommendation letters. And there was one research associate who really did not like the work. And so he just said, okay, I'm going to quit. And he became a park ranger in Colorado, and he's super happy. But it took this like 1.5 years he worked as a research associate to figure out that he does not like sitting in front of a computer all day. And then there was another one who ended up going to law school because they figured out that's what, and one went to veterinary school. And so sometimes it takes deep dive into what you think you like to learn that it's not something you actually like. And having flexibility to pivot is always good. In terms of our program, some of the skills that we teach are very, very portable, right? Data analysis skills, programming skills, they're portable across the whole range of specialties, as you saw from like where people are working, right? So you might be working for, a large retailer like Target, analyzing the data. So it's kind of economics, but it's not at all the same as doing a PhD in economics, right? So I already mentioned we have 3 tracks. You can do applied economics, you can do finance track, or you can do general. So if, people who are interested in PhD tend to do a general track because it's just focusing on fundamentals without a deep dive into either. So I've learned that things are subject to change. So in the fall, everybody is taking the same classes. Micro, finance, and applied econometrics, and the data lab, regardless of what kind of specialty people use. And it's not the same micro you have when you take, your undergraduate upper division micro. It's a graduate level micro, a lot more formal and a lot more proofs, a lot more math. And econometrics is also more advanced, and the finance is also graduate level. Then in the winter, people have to choose where their interests lie. And there are ways to still adjust in the spring, actually, but mostly it helps to select the track before the winter. So everybody's taking econometrics. We have a specialized econometrics, which is 217, but we also allow people who want to do more kind of data analysis, focusing econometrics, to take the class that's listed as undergraduate 114, but it's not a very simple undergraduate class. So I don't know if you're familiar with that. It comes with its own lab. And then there is an R lab and a professional development seminar. The people doing applied, they can take a specialized course, public policy analysis, or they can, and they need to take another elective, and I'll talk more about that, or they can take 2 electives and not take the public policy if they don't want to. For finance track, this year we have 2 courses in the winter that are specialized for finance track. And students can take both of them, or they can take one of them, another elective, or they can just take 2 electives. Yeah.
This might be a silly question, but I'm taking 114 right now. Would that count in the future if I continued, or would I have to take 217 instead?
Yeah, I think you might be able to. So we require 217 for applied track. So students who take applied cannot do 114. But if you're choosing general or finance, we could count 114, because to graduate, you only really need 35 units of the 5-unit classes. So you could potentially skip it. You'd need my permission to do that. But on the other hand, why would you do it if you can learn more by taking 217? Right. Yeah. But yeah.
Galina?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a question in the chat. Freddie is a business administrator undergraduate from Cal State Monterey Bay, and he's wondering if he can, if an economics undergraduate degree is required for admission to the master's program.
So an undergraduate degree is required. It doesn't have to be economics. It's important that students have some economics and some math, but it doesn't have to be just the economics degree. We're looking at the transcript as a whole. We don't necessarily care about what it's called, as long as the right knowledge is there. Hope that helps. Are there any other questions?
Not right now. Thank you.
Okay, so what are the electives? Oh, before I go there, spring. Macro, everybody's taking macro analysis. And then we have specialized required for applied micro applications class. And then the students can take other electives. And we have another required finance class for finance track. But there is also an optional, another specialized international financial management class. Okay, and then people can do crossover. And for general track, there's, micro financial engineering are required. And then they can take another elective for the 3rd 5-unit class. One of the electives can always be independent study that the students can enroll in with the faculty. You have to have faculty agreement before you do that, if you want to write like a term paper or something like that. And so you'd have to work out with the faculty member, what would it take to get the 5 units for the independent study class. And that can count as one of the electives. So some students who want to go on for PhD programs, it really helps to have a writing sample when you apply for a PhD program. That could be an opportunity to create that writing sample being supervised by a faculty member here. Yes.
So if I want to go into data science, should I choose the applied track?
That's right. So you would choose applied track because it has this micro applications. You would be doing more of econometrics. 217 is more strict, I would say, econometrics class, harder one. And then you can also, let me skip, and then I'll come back to faculty. So you can also take electives from other departments. So if you can go on our website, you go to the program requirements, there are some links to click through. You'll get to the list of classes that are approved as electives for the master's program. So there is a bunch of economics classes. As you know, we have business economics majors, so you can take a bunch of business classes that management classes that are part of they're all approved for the master's program. You can take stochastic differential equations and math, that's approved. I don't see many people choosing it, but it's an option. And we have a lot of computer science engineering classes approved. So if you're interested in like data science career, some of your electives can come from this list. You would need like, you know, Minu and I give you an approval for this, but we usually do. We just want to make sure you take all the required ones for the degree in applied economics finance. We also have environmental studies class and a bunch of statistics classes that are approved. So, and we are constantly, we just hired 2 econometricians 2 years ago in our department. So 114 is a new class that one of them put together, but also there are other classes being added that our students can take. So for example, machine learning for economists, that's another new class, 214, that you can also take. So I don't know how many of these people you know. There's me. I teach this year. I teach 234, which is financial institutions and markets, and then I teach 202, which is macro. In the spring, Michael Young is teaching machine learning. Kai is teaching a lot of finance classes. Nirva Kaur is teaching another finance class. Rob Fairley is teaching the professional development. Justin is teaching applied micro. George is teaching econometrics. Jesse is teaching econometrics. Anyway, so we have talented
Galina,
yeah.
Yeah, there is a question. If somebody takes those courses that you mentioned in the previous slide in their undergrad, can they use the credits?
I have to find out. That would be a university requirement. So I would say probably, but I'm not sure why one would want to, right? Because there's an opportunity to take more classes or do an independent study. Those count as electives and they don't contribute to capstone. So you still have to take all the classes you need to take for capstone. And so this is what is listed here. So there is some room for electives from this other classes, but from this other departments, but this is ones you have to take in order to be able to graduate effectively. So the way it works, the ones that are in red are the required classes. And so if you're doing applied track, if you took 259B, which is a policy class in the winter, you have a choice of which 4 of the 5 sections of the capstone you're gonna take. So if you really did not like 217, say, you can answer questions from 200, 201, 216, and 259. But if you chose a different elective and you didn't do 259, then you have to do the 4 that are in red, okay? For finance, 233, 236 are required, and you have to take them during a capstone. And then out of the other 3 that are electives, you have to answer 2 out of 3. So if you didn't take enough of the finance classes, you're gonna have trouble with capstone exam.
I guess it's interesting to me because if I took those electives in my undergrad and then applied for the master's program and all I had to do was take 200, 201, 233, 236 to have the general one, or just take 4 classes. I mean, it would just shorten the time of the master's.
So there is another requirement. You need to complete 35 units of 5-unit classes. So you have to take 7 classes to complete the program out of the 9 that we are offering. So if you cannot, I don't know if you can count the classes you have taken towards the degree. I'm gonna have to find out. Oh, Minu is saying no, and Minu knows. So you will have to take at least 35 units of the 5-unit classes and pass them.
Galina, another question. Sorry. Somebody is asking that the deadline for the program is soon. Do you think that they can still make the deadline?
So applications are due end of February. I don't know how, that's not that soon. Yeah, I'm sure everybody has enough time. Yeah, because we're not asking for the full transcript. We're asking for whatever partial transcript you have. And we do require GRE, but for students who have, who live in countries where it's not accessible, we could make exceptions, but generally we're requiring GRE right now. Okay, but I think there's still plenty of time till end of February. 3:58. Yeah, so for sure. And you can start the application anytime, as long as you complete the application before the deadline. You're gonna be fine. Okay, that was perfect segue for this. So the cost of the program is tuition plus professional fees. And professional fees are about $10,000 for the whole program, in addition to the tuition. We do have financial aid available. So that is merit-based, and we offer it at the time we admit students into the program. So if you apply to the program and we admit you, you get a letter from me or Minu saying, hey, welcome, you got accepted, congratulations, and we're offering you that much financially. Yeah.
So that is from the graduate.
From grad division, right. So even more formal, but it's going to have a number of the financial aid that we are offering. Yeah.
So what's the tuition for 35 minutes?
It's, I think, a standard 1-year tuition that is, it's a 3/4 tuition, because actually the math camp you take before counts as part of the full quarter. So you don't have to pay anything extra. Yeah. So basically we're giving away 30% of the professional development fees that we collect. So that comes as a financial aid. We also usually, we cannot promise, because it depends on how many PhD students and how much demand for teaching assistants we have in the department. But currently, I think we have 6 master students working as a TA, and I think we hired another 6 for the winter quarter, or some of them the same, and some of them others. So it is also possible to fund your studies by working as a TA. This is also merit-based, so not everybody qualifies to be a TA, but a lot of people end up, getting some financial support that way. So GRE is required, and this is, we do not have a specific cutoff on GRE, so we're not going to ignore applications with any kind of GRE, but what we can tell you is that on average, people who get admitted get 160 in quantitative section, or if it's GMAT, which you can also take 45.6. It's been so long since I took GRE, I don't even remember what these numbers mean. So I'm gonna leave it up to you. So we do have a minimum GPA of 3.0. We do make occasional exceptions depending on, if people are coming from the school where average GPA is really low. So we do look at every application. But the average GPA of admitted students is 3.3. What did you say? Bobby, can you read it?
Yes, yeah. So Wyatt asks, what did you say was the total cost? He's unaware of the current tuition cost at the university.
What's the current tuition? I don't know either. You can look it up on UCSC website, and the professional fees are about $10,000 for 3 quarters for the full program. Any other questions?
Not right now. Thanks, Galina.
In the room? So also university, if you are a US citizen, university also offers potentially the admission fee waiver. So admission fee, I think, is $150 or something like that. The department, if you're not eligible for the university admission fee waiver, the department has some limited funds that we can help with as well. that's come from the donors who are the alumni of our program.
One clarification.
Yeah.
Graduate division application fee is not.
Right, so if you're an international student, you need to ask me for the application fee. And do that soon, it's the first come, first served. So that's basically it. There is a website. We're constantly updating it to make sure it's up to date. And if you have questions, you can always email me. Here's my email. This econ grad coordinator email goes to Minu. So that we can answer your questions promptly. I want to email both of us because we know different things. Okay. Any questions? Let me stop sharing. You can see people. So we also have
Galina,
yeah.
Another question, if I'm not interrupting you. Sean asks, for applicants who didn't major in economics, what are you looking for to know they're prepared for the program? For example, they studied math and statistics, but they haven't published any written economic research.
Oh, we're not, it's good if there is written economic research, it doesn't hurt, but that's not required by any means. So we're basically looking that students have a potential to complete the program. So some economics classes are good. Math and statistics are important as well. We might occasionally admit the students who didn't take any economics, but it might be very hard for them. So we would recommend that they catch up over summer with some online courses or something like that. I don't know if we have any faculty or current students who might want to add something. Or Bhavya, if you want to add anything that is important for people to know.
I guess you've covered most of the stuff. I do believe that the material of the entire program sort of prepares you for a job in economics or consulting or financial services out there. Like these are the three industries that I personally know and have worked in. But there are other students right now who are also like in different industries in data science, and they're doing very well. They've learned a lot from both the theoretical courses and the labs. I think that yeah, if Anirban is still here, he would be able to elaborate a bit more because he's taught courses for a longer time than I have, but yeah.
So there is a question in the chat asking if it's a STEM program. It is a STEM program. And hi, Anirban.
Hi, Galina. Yeah, I actually like taught it R and Python mostly. So I seen like people going to different, like data science is like the top choice, obviously, but they're like going to like consulting, sometimes like internship in like policy organizations and everything. So it's like pretty vast in terms of like the work areas, their interest. It all depends upon their interest, obviously. So yeah, it's kind of differs, but yeah, the course is actually like prepares them to like take up any kind of like professional assignments, which is like really great about that.
And one more thing that I'd like to add, if you're somebody who wants to go to grad school later on, like if you want to pursue a PhD program, know that most of your TAs are going to be PhD students themselves. You're going to be interacting with the course material on a much deeper level. And therefore, it kind of prepares you to think about the questions that you're interested in as well. So I know a couple of students who would talk to me about what they were interested in last year, and I put them in touch with the relevant faculty. It allowed them to work on their like research statement for grad schools or even pre-doc applications to a huge degree. So that's also like a tangential benefit that you get from the program.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. So I also wanted to add, and that's something that it took me a while to realize that I should tell our students, and I think you as well, there's a major change coming from undergraduate to a graduate program. So when you're an undergraduate, especially in a large campus like ours, you get very little personalized attention. You know, unless you're, you know, happen to be in a small class, and that's also usually not easy to get into. So it changes completely. So our target number of students for the master's program is 35. This year we have a lot fewer. With 2 tracks, that means they're going to be electives where there's going to be less than 20 students in a class. And you get a lot more attention from the faculty. You get a lot more access to the faculty so if there are 35 students in a class, that's the largest class that you're going to have, because usually there won't be anybody else. There might be some undergraduates auditing or occasional faculty sitting on the Python lab. But, you know, we had some PhD students, actually. I brought a whole bunch of PhD students on your Bantot Python lab in the spring. That is just such an amazing resource that why not? But still, you know, the labs are taught at half class sizes. So if there are 20 people taking Python lab, there would be 2 labs that you can choose from. So there won't be more than 10 people in the lab. We do buy data licenses for our students. R and Python are free, so we don't have to do that. And so it's just a lot more personal care that you get. You know, you have Minu and Sheila. Everybody is pretty much rooting for you, and there is a lot less competition and a lot more teamwork, in the sense that everybody is going to end up getting a good job somewhere or continuing with graduate studies. And one thing we hear from alumni is that, you know, the coursework is pretty hard and people tend to work together. And in this 1 year of tough work, you end up forming friendships that become also your business network going forward. And so we have, through professional development seminar partially, but also more generally, alumni network is super valuable, because that is your professional connections for the rest of your life. That doesn't ever go away. And so that's something you don't necessarily get from undergraduate, also because, you know, you have your classes with different groups of people. And so you don't have this opportunity to make really strong bonds when all the classes you take are the same group of 35 students or even. So that's something that keep in mind, that it, you know, when I did my PhD, you know, I'm still, my best friends are people from my PhD program, and that social aspect was hugely important, because it's also part of your life when social aspect is important. We have a lot of people who got married after they've met each other in our master's program.
We don't guarantee that.
We don't guarantee that. But we definitely have couples who met in our program. Any questions?
I have a general question. So in terms of preparing, specifically for like a state and R Python, like what level do we need to know coming in, or is that something that's taught in the courses?
Taught starting from the basics, but at a pretty fast pace. So it helps if you had, so we're not requiring any kind of programming experience, but it definitely helps if you know, already know how to think algorithmically. It helps. But no, we start from like the basic syntax. So there is no need to prepare ahead of time. It doesn't hurt, you know, if there is a summer and you have nothing to do in the summer, you can take some online courses for sure. And you can reach out to us and say, hey, you know, I got admitted into the program. I want to get a head start. Can you recommend some resources? And we for sure can recommend some resources. The same with math or whatever other things you feel like you might want to catch up on. Just let us know. And, you know, the personal attention begins even before you start. So we're totally happy to help you, send you some links, things like that.
Required for the application?
So you send your GRE, your transcript, that you need to send a cover letter. Nina might know better. Yeah, statement of purpose or whatever. Why do you want to do it? Oh, letters, you need references from faculty.
So the applications are open right now, and I don't have information yet. So this is the 15 ones. Yeah, there is a difference in tuition. There is difference in in-state and out-of-state. California, and it works out fine. All that information is on the registrar side. I've seen it, I can't see that.
If you go to the grad division website and you click on like apply link and you select the program, it actually tells you what's needed to apply, but it's pretty standard. We're not requiring anything else that other people don't require. And we actually also allow for any kind of additional letters. So especially because of COVID, there were some applicants who, maybe their transcript didn't look as good in their last year because of things happened during COVID. And there is a space to enter a letter to just, in addition to statement of purpose. So your statement of purpose could be like very professional, and you can write a personal letter saying, here's what happened to me in the last 2 years that explains some of the things. And we absolutely read all of this because we want to make sure everybody has a fair chance. And basically in the application process, we are trying to assess the probability that the student will successfully complete the program, right? Because there is no point for the person to starting the program if they have very low chance of succeeding, right? It's just going to be suffering for everybody involved. And so we're trying to screen out people who do not have enough math, don't have enough technical preparation, or weren't doing well in undergraduate econ and math and stats classes, which is kind of a signal that at the graduate level probably will struggle. And so we do admit people with what we think maybe is not quite enough math, and then I usually email them and say, hey, you gotta beef up your math over summer, otherwise you're gonna have a really tough time in the fall. And so, and that's what the math camp also is, for people to catch up.
Just, the other thing you could do is, if you were planning to apply, you can start an application. At least there is a maybe start the application, and then I'm a junior. Would I apply this year?
No, you apply next year.
Right. You do need a bachelor's degree. Right. When you're ready to apply. Yeah.
No, the applications open really early. So like in October, you can start looking at what's needed by the end of February. So that gives you plenty of time. So you don't need to look this year. Sorry, Vinu, I think
Actually, I would suggest looking at it right now. In junior, what is required in case, it helps your degree. If you do a research paper or something, that gives you an extra boost to your application. So thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm graduating in winter 2023. Should I apply right now?
Winter 2023, no, because you won't be able to start in September. So the program always starts in September. So if you're graduating a year from now, effectively, you would be applying next year. Then you're gonna have spring and summer to do whatever you want to do, internships, more study.
Yes, after the fall. Next
This winter.
No,
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, then you should be applying now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you can start next fall. Yeah. Sorry, thank you.
Because my confusion was like, since you have the deadline set at like Feb, and I graduated in March, so.
You don't have to be graduated. before
You don't have to have a
Okay.
degree.
Just by the
before
time you start.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you just need to have a degree expected
Mhm.
before you start. And we would need to, the grad division is going to check that you actually have a bachelor's degree before you start. But you absolutely don't have to wait for that to apply. Otherwise, everybody would be wasting a year. Yeah. Yeah, no, sorry, I'm usually good at math. So if you're junior and you're thinking about the program, I would say upper division econ classes, some math classes, stats classes would be very useful. Any real analysis usually is considered a tough class, but it's good to take because it's one of the few math classes that is proof-based at the undergraduate level. And so it gives you kind of an idea of what type of abstract math is going to be required for the program. Yeah.
What was the class called?
Real analysis. Yeah. And that, and that's just useful. That's used in every single graduate econ class. You need real analysis for everything. So, and it's also just proof-based. This is kind of the language of econ. So it's a good class to take in the math department. And, if you're not getting an A+ in that class, everybody understands that it's a tough class and nobody's getting A+ in it. So don't worry about that part, because it's not necessarily going to affect your GPA a lot. And when we're looking into real analysis, if you didn't get an A+, it's okay. Any other questions? So sometimes I get a question whether people can work full-time and still do a program. I usually advise against that because the program is, you take 3 5-unit classes plus the lab plus professional development seminar. That's a lot of units, and it doesn't leave much free time between the classes and the homework and the discussion section. So most of our classes have discussion sections. So it's the lecture time plus discussion section time plus the homework time. So that's a lot of hours. Some students manage to work part-time and they're trying to concentrate all their work on like either a Monday or a Friday. And that's possible with the scheduling. A lot of our classes are Tuesday, Thursday, and the sections could be Monday, Wednesday, so you can choose. But, more than just little part-time, I don't recommend. Yeah.
I'm just curious for this year, how does the TA strike impact discussion sections for graduate students? Because I understand how it impacts undergraduate, but are there no discussion sections for graduate students right now?
I think it depends on the TA. It depends on individual TAs. It's up to them, I think. Basically the same as for undergraduates. Yeah. I think the difference though is usually for undergraduates, you only have TAs if the class is pretty large. We have TAs for classes that are much smaller. And so the impact is less because the faculty just adjust and the way I teach the class, I rely on some material to be taught by the TA in the discussion sections, or figuring out what is that students missed or I go too fast. So actually because we have a smaller class this winter, I'm not going to have a TA for the same class I taught with a TA last year. So I'm just going to adjust the way I teach. I would do what the TA would do in the section. I would do more of that in class. And, maybe extend the office hours so students can come to me and ask questions. I always have group homework, not because it's easier to grade, but because I want students to learn to work in teams, because that's effectively workplace skills that you have to have. And we're always doing class presentations and written reports and all kind of those job skills that good to have before, first day on the job, you get hit with all of the above. So we kind of try to focus on things that people in their professional lives.
Galina, Iman Mohammed has a hand raised. I don't know if they have a question.
Hi, I was wondering, do you guys accept if for transfer students, like 2 years college? But I have a AA degree from Ethiopia back 20 years ago.
So if your degree is viewed as equivalent to bachelor's degree, you absolutely can apply, and just if you can find the transcript, but also your transcript from your current college, so we can see what you're taking currently. I think that satisfies the requirements. Does it matter how old the degree is? Yeah, no, we don't have any limits on this, so yeah, I think you can apply.
I'm now taking my macroeconomics, but I already took microeconomics, and I have 2 maths like statistics and algebra. I don't know if those are the required, or I have to be
Yeah, those are good to have, so you can submit both your transcripts from your previous degree as well as the current transcript. Nina was going to say something.
So the degree has to be, it's going to be a 4-year bachelor's.
Right, it has to be a 4-year bachelor degree. You can read on our website what qualifies as a 4-year degree when it's from the foreign institution.
Oh, okay. But I'm presently taking in Marine College some classes, and I don't know if that's good enough to apply or not.
Yeah, so it depends on whether, so the classes you take they would be useful, good to know, but in terms of how well prepared you are, but we do require a bachelor degree equivalent, and it has to be a 4-year degree. So that's pretty strict. That comes from the graduate division. We cannot make exceptions on that.
Maybe next time. Good to know. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it for your time.
Yeah, so Mina was also saying that for some countries that have a different educational system, our grad division has actually a list of the exceptions that we make for some countries. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Of course. Any other questions? All right. Well, thanks everybody for stopping by. There's more pizza. Oh, wait. Oh, no, the most important part.
We're not done yet.
Yeah, most important part.
Most important part. First of all, there's pizza. I think you just arrived. I'm gonna have you sign in at some point. 3 kinds of pizza, salad, bruschetta. Please get some more food. But I did say there'd be a drawing of some kind. So we've got a little card drawing that we're going to do. And so I said for the Zoom people, we were going to draw a name out of a hat and offer you a gift card, and you'll have a choice of either Starbucks, Amazon, or what was my other choice? Oh, or DoorDash. Okay, so one of you people out there are going to get something right here. These are all my people that signed up for the Zoom. I don't know if you're all here, but we're going to find out in just a minute. Galina, just close your eyes and pick a name. Okay, this is a special drawing. We're drawing you out of a hat. Watch this. Watch this. Okay, let's see if this person is here. How do you say this?
Zhao?
Zhao? Capet?
Nope.
No. No? Are you there? Going once? Going twice? You're not there. I'm sorry, you missed out. We're going to try again. Ready? Okay, I got 2 pages here. Close your eyes, dance around and pick one. That's not close enough, except for it's close enough to this person right here. Camilla Anderson, are you here?
Yes.
Someone you guys know?
The name is here. But you also have to pay attention.
Are you here? Are you here? Camilla? Looks like she's here.
Yes.
Yes, she is here. Hooray. Yes, you're here. Congratulations. You are the winner of a gift card. your microphone isn't working. That's okay, because I can talk a lot for you. So I'm gonna send you an email, and then you're gonna send me a message back and tell me which kind of gift card you want, a Starbucks, an Amazon, or a DoorDash. And then we're gonna get you a digital card and send it to you. So thanks for showing up today. I appreciate that. The fact is, I appreciate all of you showing up. So we're gonna do one more gift card. We're gonna give one of these people a gift card.
Okay.
Okay? Yes? Yes, good, okay. You're gonna need to sign in for me first, really quickly. And then we're gonna do a really secret drawing, the same kind of pull it out of a hat type of a thing. Sometimes a bunny comes out and other times it's just a gift card. Thank you, thank you. Okay, now, we've got this special secret hat here, and we're gonna mix it all up like this, and as close as you get to whatever name you get is the one we're gonna get.
Where to focus?
No, anywhere, as soon as you hit something, there you go, you just hit something. And that doesn't have a person. That person is not here, David. Oh, wait, David is here. David, you're the winner, hooray! Do you like a Starbucks or DoorDash or an Amazon? Starbucks it is. Okay. Congratulations. The more you hang out with us, the more fun we have. So keep showing up. So those are my gift cards for today. I wish I had more prizes. I'll try to have some more next time. But
Extra pizza.
Extra pizza, exactly. There's tons of pizza and you're welcome to take some with you. Yes.